Hey everybody, welcome to Board Game Heaven. My name is Raymond, and in this video I'll do an unboxing of the collector's box of the competitive deck building game called Sins by Cortadoo Games, which is a subdivision of Luudos Studio, and the game is designed by Daniel Grieve and Jacob Lindberg from Denmark. This is a competitive deck builder, as I said, which revolves around the 7 deadly sins. And there are already 6 different decks, one for each of the sins. There's one not yet released, and they all have different cards with different effects on the game, but each individual deck can be played separately. So let's quickly open up the box, see what's inside. I'm going to start by showing you the game mat that you can get for the game Sins. They sold these as an add-on during the Kickstarter. They come in these plastic packages, so I'll just open that up. And there you go. So this is a vinyl game mat with a neoprene backing. This neoprene rubber. Feels nice and sturdy, doesn't stretch, has stitched edges, and the front of the mat is printed with the 7 sins. So there's gluttony, envy, greed, lust, sloth, no, that's sloth, wrath, and one that I forgot. So yeah, it's printed pretty nicely. It's a bit darker, so the colors don't pop too much to distract from the game, and it has several spots for your deck. So you have a draw deck here, you have your discard pile over there, and this is where your despair and your dominance can be stacked, and the rest, of course, is the playing field. And if you have 2 of these, one for each player, then you can leave some room in the middle, which would be more room, of course, but to put the markets, basically the cards that you can buy. So that looks pretty nice. It's not too big, so that would fit on any playing table, even a smaller one. And that's basically all the space you're gonna need to play Sins. Next, I'm gonna show you the art book, the immemorial art book of many of the cards from the game. And some of these are not suitable for work, but not safe for work, but I won't show you those. It's basically just a bigger print of all the artwork on the cards without any text on it, and a little description of the 7 sins. So to give you an impression, here are some of the safer artworks for Sloth, which is pretty cool. Really nice artwork. Looks really cool. Gluttony. I'm just going to go through these quickly. There's Greed. So, yeah. There's this. Wrath. Really cool with monsters and flaming weapons. Well, Lust I'm gonna have to skip. And then we have Pride. And Envy, which is not safe for work. The first one at least. And there you go. So just to give you an impression, it's really cool if you like the artwork on the cards and you want to have a better look without all the text over the art and in a bigger print, then the art book is something you might be interested in. So let's take a look at the collector box, which has some artwork on the cover with the Sins Collector by Luudos Studio and their logos by Cortadoo and Luudos. And on the back there is again some cards with some artwork on it, which is a unique deck builder with push your luck and deck destruction mechanisms. And that's true. And yes, a little bit of an explanation. It's for 1 to 6 players, 14 and up, plays in about half an hour. Depending on how well you know the rules and how familiar you are with the cards, I found I've played about an hour with the designer. When I tried it out, I played it a couple of times. So let's open up the box and see what's inside. And there we go. So inside the box there's 6 spots. It's divided by some cardboard, and it has these foam fillers. So it has the first 3 different packs. So the Rise of Wrath, the Ooze of Gluttony, and the Gloom of Greed. The next 3 that were, I think they were already Kickstarter, I'm not 100% sure, otherwise they will be, which was, let's see, Sloth, Pride, and Lust, which means that only Envy is missing still. But this box has room for 6 packs, and I would say more, because you can fit this in sideways. And, you know, if you don't sleeve them, there's plenty of room here. And if you do sleeve them, I can imagine them filling up almost, because usually it's almost twice as big as a regular deck. So I think you can easily fit in 7 decks in here. So let's just go ahead and open up this box and take a look. So these tuck boxes are completely filled with cards. The Rise of Wrath. Let me just put that on autofocus. So you get Cosmos cards in all of these decks, which are your generic cards that you can use to buy other cards with. So it tells you what you get. And here is a blurb of text about Wrath. So this is the new Cosmos card then. Viscous Terra, Ignis, Canva. So those, and you can find the rules online, which is pretty handy. Just scan that QR code. It'll take you there. And here is a little bit of special thanks. Right, and we do have a turn reference card. So we have your turn references here. And the things you can do, the different types there are. So we have 2 of those, 1 for each player. This is your dominance tracker, basically. So you flip it around every time you gain a dominance point. So your victory card, you flip it over if you win. And then here, oh, this is cool. Look at that. These Cosmos cards, they overlap a bit to form a bigger picture. That's pretty awesome. I always like that, the big space pictures. So these are your generic cards, your generic currency, if you will. So several of those. Really like the art on those. Kind of wish those dioramas would have been in the art book as well. And then you've got the 7 sins. So this is Pride. Another card for Pride. And as you can see, this is the same art, means that it's the same card with the same text. And then the different art also means it has a different ability and a different colors here. So that's pretty cool. And then we have Lust, which lets you do this. Look at the top 3 cards of your draw pile and return them in any order, which is an important thing to do in the game. And a different lust card, which is different from this one. And several of those. Then you get envy. And another envy card, which does something else. All right, so we have those. And then you get gluttony. And the other gluttony card. And then we have a greed. 2 different greed cards. Really cool artwork. And a sloth. Let me see. There you go. All right, so sloth. And then finally, wrath. These are the wrath cards. And in this case, wrath is the generic faction, if you will, which has the wild card color, basically. You can pay anything with that or defend. I believe there is a specific rule. And yeah, so that's the wrath deck. And you can play the entire game with just one of these decks. This is basically all you need. And to play the game, so if you want to experience this game, you technically just have to have one of these decks and you can play the full game. But the other decks add more gameplay because they also have the 7 sins, but they also have new abilities. So let's take a look at the Ooze of Gluttony. So inside this tuck box, we find again a little bit of text about the Ooze of Gluttony module. We call these modules as new sliding powers. And a little bit of text here for Gluttony. This belongs to the Wrath card. We'll just keep these apart. There you go. Oh, this is interesting. So we have these cards. This is new. So yeah, that is added to the game. Again, scan for rules and same card in each package. The turn reference cards once more, and the dominance cards, that's just the same in all of these decks. Cosmos cards, that seems to be the same art, which is kind of a shame. I kind of had hoped there'd be a different panorama in each deck. A little bit of a missed opportunity there. But yeah, really nice nonetheless. All right, so here come the playing cards. So we have, again, Greed. And this does something different than the Greed cards in the Wrath deck over there. And that's the same for all of them. So that's pretty interesting. So here is the other Greed card. And then we have Sloth. And the second Sloth card. Different effects. And different colors. They were also named, which is pretty cool. Drowning Bliss and Fellow Rider. Here is a Wrath card, the Unchained. And the second Wrath card. Continuing, we have Pride. So that's those. And then we have Lust. Lust. Look at your despair pile also, and the other player's hand. That's important skills to have. Envy. and Gluttony. And there you go. And in this deck, as you can see, Gluttony is the generic color, where Wrath was the generic color in the other deck. So all of these decks, they play by the same rules. The game is the same, but the abilities on all of these cards are all different every time. The colors of these icons are different every time, and one of the factions is the generic color, the wild card, if you will. So that's different in each of these, which makes for a pretty interesting game with interesting decisions. And I think you can also mix and match, you know, have different sets from different packs together. I don't know. Obviously, you can't have the 7 generic factions all together, because that wouldn't work, I can imagine. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. So here we have the Gloom of Greed. Let's open that one up. So there we go, the Gloom of Greed. Oops, put it that way. Again, with a little bit of text about this module. New winning conditions. Interesting. With the bit of text there again. The Power Collector. So these are the different winning condition cards from all walks of life. Interesting and double-sided. Gain 3 cards in a turn. This is have a card of every power in play. This is from all walks of life. I have a card with 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 weaknesses, and on the back 9 weaknesses or more. Interesting. Oh, it is more. Body and Spirit. 5 Cosmos in play, which are the generic cards, the space diorama. And Sleight of Hand. So yeah, interesting. To change up the game yet again. The rules. The turn overview cards. And the dominance trackers. Right, and again the same Cosmos cards. And that's those. We've seen them. All right, here are the new cards. So again, we have, so Greed is the generic one here. So we have Sloth. Force a player to pass. Ooh, wow, that's harsh. And add an ominous weakness to any card in play. It's really nice, really cool artwork. Wrath here. Play another card, also nice. And destroy the next card played. And these are optional. Every time you play a card, either to use their mana, if you will, to buy another card, or to attack with. Anytime you play a card, you may optionally play that effect, which is interesting, which really makes you think about in which order to play the cards and when to play the cards. It's a really puzzly game, but I'll do a full review with the entire rules explained somewhere later this year. And this is Pride. So again, 2 different cards. A nice artwork. And then we have, oh, there's just 1 of these. That's interesting. For Lust. Search your draw pile for any card. You may place that card on top and shuffle the rest. That's also very handy if you want to attack, which I will explain. If you attack, then you take the top card from your draw pile and put it in the the opponent's despair pile, and it's face down, so you don't know what it is unless you know exactly what is on top of your draw pile. And then you know how many despair they have, and at a certain number of despair, I believe 5 at least, you can call your despair pile that is in your opponent's area, and then flip them over and you count up, I believe these, the number of points basically, and if you have 5 from the top of my head, it's been a while, then you gain 1 dominance over the other player. That's basically what that... Oh, there's the other ones. They were just in the wrong spot. Okay, I thought maybe it's such a powerful card. Here is Envy. Copy an effect and play. Swap a non-Cosmos card from your hand with a card from the top of the realm, which is the market. And really nice artwork. And then Gluttony. So cool. So yeah, we have those. And finally, there's Greed with the Omnis power there. Power and weakness, that's what that's called. So you can double a power in play, and this adds an Omnis power to any card in play, which is, you know, fitting for Greed because it makes your buying power bigger, so you can get cards for less costs. So each of these factions, each of these 7 deadly sins, they have there is a theme to it. They do help you in a way. So Wrath is very offensive, and Greed lets you buy more, and stuff like that. You know, so it is very thematic, and I just love the artwork on all of these. So it's a very puzzly game, and I can't wait to start playing it some more, trying it out, and trying out these different decks, because so far I've only played the Rise of Wrath, and I'd like to try out the other ones as well, and then, you know, finally do a review sometime. But that was basically everything that's in the collector's box, which is a nice big box that has room for all of your sins, decks, and that's that. One last thing I still wanted to show you is the sleeves. I got 3 packs of sleeves with the game, and 1 for each deck. And they have enough sleeves to sleeve, of course, your entire game. There's even 10 sleeves left, because you're not sleeving these special cards that come in each of the decks. And the dominance cards, which you could sleeve, but you don't really need to. And the turn reference cards, these are double-sided, so you don't sleeve those as well. So you sleeve the rest of these, and these are nice sturdy sleeves. They have a printed back with the Sins logo, just like on the regular cards, basically the same design. And because these cards are very thick, they are very good quality. And if you have a stack of these cards, it's very hard to shuffle them, and at least in my experience. And I don't want to bend them, so sleeving your cards, especially, you know, deck builders, I always like to sleeve my deck builders, because you are shuffling them constantly. Makes it a lot easier to just pick up, you know, 2 halves and just mash them together like this, and, you know, put them together without damaging the cards, which you would do if, you know, you didn't sleeve them. So this is quite a big deck, so you will be, you know, shuffling that a lot. And I just like to mash them together like so, and just, if I did that a little bit more, a little bit better, but that just works a lot better. And I just, yeah, like the feel of these. These are quite the premium sleeves. They're pretty good quality. And you could, of course, sleeve them with any type of sleeve. With a transparent back, you'd have this, the card's back showing. But there is an option to get sleeves from the publisher as well. And then, of course, if you sleeved your entire deck, you can simply put them in here in this direction, which still fits. See, as you can see, that still fits comfortably. And put in the divider, or this foam block, if you wish. Or if you want to keep your nice box, I think you can even put this inside. That just fits inside here, and then you can, yeah, just fits, which is pretty cool. And then you don't have to toss out your box if you like the art, and then just use that as your divider. So that even works, which is pretty fun. Let me see if the other side has the Ooze of Gluttony. Oh, it actually says it right there. So I think I'll just keep my boxes for now and store it all inside the collector's box until I have more cards to fill the entire box. And that's everything inside the Sins Collector's box. And so that was my unboxing of the collector's box of the game Sins by Luudos Studio. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified whenever I upload a new video. And please also consider becoming a Patreon saint to my channel by clicking the Patreon link in the description below or the icon at the end of this video. And then you can read how to support my channel and to get your name in all the credits of all my videos. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time on Board Game Heaven.